The email arrived with no subject, just a blank message body. It was as if the silence itself was a message, a void that spoke louder than words. It was the third one that day, each one a reminder that someone, somewhere was watching. My heart pounded. My hand trembled as I hovered the cursor over the message. The anxiety was almost paralyzing, a cold sweat breaking out on my forehead. I already knew what it would say, or rather, what it wouldn't. The emptiness of the message was a chilling reminder of my helplessness. These messages were never overt, never a direct threat. They were like whispers in the dark, unsettling and unnerving. But they didn't need to be. Their emptiness spoke volumes. It was the silence that was the loudest, the unknown that was the most terrifying. I was being watched. The feeling had started subtly. At first it was just a nagging sensation easily dismissed, a flickering shadow in my peripheral vision. A fleeting glimpse that made me question my sanity, a car that seemed to follow me for a few blocks too many. The headlights in my rearview mirror, a constant reminder of my pursuer. But now, it was constant, a suffocating presence I couldn't escape. Every corner I turned, every shadow I saw felt like a threat. Every keystroke felt monitored, every website visit, every email sent, watched by unseen eyes. The paranoia was overwhelming, a constant weight on my shoulders. I had tried everything to shake the feeling, changed my routines, my passwords, even my phone. But nothing seemed to work, nothing worked. The fear was a living thing now, twisting in my gut, whispering paranoia in my ear. It was as if the fear had taken on a life of its own, feeding off my anxiety. I was trapped, a fly caught in an invisible web, waiting for the spider to strike. The anticipation was the worst part, the not knowing when or how it would happen. I installed security cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of my tormentor, but the footage revealed nothing, only adding to my frustration and fear. I confided in friends, but they couldn't understand. They tried to reassure me, but their words felt hollow. I even went to the police, but without concrete evidence, there was little they could do. Their skepticism only deepened my sense of isolation. Alone in my room, the darkness felt oppressive. The glow of the computer screen was my only light, but it offered no comfort. Days turned into weeks, and the fear never subsided. It became a part of my daily routine, a constant companion. I looked in the mirror and barely recognized myself. The fear had changed me, worn me down, but I knew I had to keep going. I couldn't let the fear win. Each day was a battle, but I was determined to fight. I started documenting everything, every email, every strange occurrence. It was my way of taking back control, of fighting back against the fear. I didn't know if it would ever end, but I refused to give up. The fear was strong, but my will to overcome it was stronger. Just when the despair threatened to consume me, another message arrived. This one was different. It wasn't blank. It had an attachment, a single encrypted file. Curiosity warred with fear. What if this was the trap, the final nail in my coffin? But something drew me in, a flicker of hope in the suffocating darkness. I downloaded the file, my finger hovering over the open button. It felt like a life or death decision, and maybe it was. Taking a deep breath, I clicked. The file opened, revealing a message, short and to the point. They are watching you. I can help. Meet me on the deep web. Follow the instructions. Trust no one. It was signed with a single word. Phantom. Phantom. The name sent a shiver down my spine. This had to be some kind of joke, a cruel prank by whoever was tormenting me. Yet, a sliver of hope remained. What if this phantom was real? What if they could actually help? The logical part of me screamed danger. Trusting a faceless entity on the deep web was insane, but what choice did I have? The authorities were useless, bogged down in bureaucracy and red tape. My friends and family thought I was being paranoid, imagining things. But I knew the truth. I was in over my head, drowning in a situation I didn't understand. Phantom, whoever they were, was the only lifeline I had. With a deep breath and a prayer, I decided to trust the shadow. Following Phantom's instructions, I found myself navigating the murky depths of the deep web. It was a journey into the unknown, a labyrinth of hidden networks and encrypted pathways that few dared to explore. The deeper I went, the more I realized how vast and complex this digital underworld truly was. It was a disorienting, unsettling place, hidden from the prying eyes of search engines, a haven for anonymity. Here, identities were masked, and every interaction felt like a clandestine meeting. The hidden website interfaces and dark web marketplaces were like secret bazaars, where anything and everything could be traded, often with a sense of foreboding. This was the digital underworld, where everything was encrypted, every transaction shrouded in secrecy. Encrypted data streams flowed like invisible rivers, and anonymous cryptocurrency transactions were the lifeblood of this hidden economy. Secure communication interfaces ensured that conversations remained private, away from the prying eyes of authorities. It was here I learned about ethical hackers, the white hats who used their skills for good, protecting systems and individuals from the black hats, the malicious actors who sought to exploit and destroy. These ethical hackers were the unsung heroes of the digital age, constantly battling to keep the internet safe. They were the guardians of the virtual world, standing as a bulwark against cyber threats. Phantom, it turned out, was one of the good guys, a digital guardian angel operating in the shadows. He was a master of his craft, using his extensive knowledge to thwart cybercriminals and protect the innocent. His work was often thankless, but he remained steadfast, driven by a sense of duty and justice. They explained that the deep web was a tool, and like any tool, it could be used for good or evil. It was a double-edged sword, capable of both protecting privacy and enabling criminal activity. The key was in how it was wielded, and by whom. Ethical hackers like Phantom used it to uncover hidden threats and safeguard sensitive information. It was a place where information was power, and those who controlled it held the keys to unimaginable secrets. The deep web was a repository of knowledge, a vault of confidential data that could be both a treasure trove and a Pandora's box. Navigating it required skill, caution, and a deep understanding of the digital landscape. In the hands of the right people, it could be a force for good, a means to protect and empower. But in the wrong hands, it could unleash chaos and destruction. My journey into the deep web was like descending into a hidden city. The surface web, with its familiar search engines and social media platforms, was like the bustling streets above. But beneath, hidden in plain sight, lay a labyrinth of encrypted networks and anonymous forums. It was a place where privacy reigned supreme, where identities were fluid and transactions untraceable. Phantom acted as my guide, leading me through this digital underworld with cryptic messages and encrypted files. They taught me how to navigate the hidden pathways, how to mask my digital footprint and avoid the dangers lurking in the shadows. The deeper I went, the more I realized the truth in Phantom's words. Information was power, and someone out there had a lot of information about me. Phantom communicated through a series of encrypted messages, each one a breadcrumb leading me closer to the truth. These messages were intricate, filled with codes and ciphers that took hours to decipher. Each decoded message felt like a small victory, a step closer to understanding the enigma that was Phantom. They instructed me to download specific privacy tools, to change my online habits, to become a ghost in the digital world. I had to learn about VPNs, encrypted emails, and secure browsers. My digital footprint had to be erased, my presence online minimized to a whisper. It was exhausting, exhilarating, terrifying. I was learning to disappear, to become invisible to whoever was watching me. The paranoia set in quickly. Every click, every keystroke felt like it was being monitored. I found myself constantly looking over my shoulder, expecting to see someone lurking in the shadows. Each message from Phantom brought new revelations, new dangers. The warnings were clear: trust no one, question everything. The dark web became my new haunt, a place where secrets were traded like currency. I learned that the surveillance wasn't random. It was targeted, precise, and it had been going on for much longer than I'd realized. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. My life had been under a microscope, every move analyzed. Someone had been watching me, studying me for a very long time. The feeling of being hunted was overwhelming. I had to find out who was behind this, and more importantly, why they were doing it. The question was why? What did they want? The answers seemed just out of reach, hidden behind layers of encryption and secrecy. Every clue led to more questions, and the puzzle grew more complex with each passing day. Phantom, it seemed, had some of the answers, but they were doled out in bits and pieces, always with a warning: trust no one. The cryptic nature of their messages left me both frustrated and intrigued. I had to keep going to follow the breadcrumbs no matter where they led. Following Phantom's instructions, I stumbled upon a hidden directory on my own computer. It was filled with files, logs of my every online activity, every keystroke, every website visit, every email sent and received. It was all there, meticulously documented, a chilling testament to the depth of the invasion. Someone had been inside my digital life, watching my every move for God knows how long. The realization hit me like a physical blow. This wasn't just paranoia, this wasn't some random hacker messing around, this was organized, sophisticated, and deeply personal. But who would go to such lengths to invade my privacy, and what did they want from me specifically? The deeper I delved into the mystery, the more I realized that the danger extended beyond the digital realm. It was seeping into my physical life, threatening those around me. A package arrived at my doorstep, containing a single white rose. No note, no sender's address. Just a stark reminder that I was being watched, even in the real world. The fear that had been a constant companion now morphed into something colder, sharper. This wasn't just about data anymore. This was about control. Someone was pulling the strings and I was the puppet. But who was the puppet master? And what would happen when they tired of their game? The revelation came in a whisper, a single line of code hidden deep within one of Phantom's messages. It was a name, or rather an alias, a handle used in the darkest corners of the deep web. I had stumbled upon it before during my research, but its significance hadn't registered. Now, it hit me with the force of a thunderclap. The puppet master wasn't some faceless entity. It was someone I knew, someone I had trusted, someone who had been playing me for a fool all along. Betrayal cut deeper than any knife. The realization that someone I had trusted, someone I had confided in, was behind this elaborate scheme sent a chill down my spine. It was a betrayal of the highest order, and it left me reeling. I had walked willingly into the spider's web, lured by a false sense of security, and now I was trapped, entangled in a web of deceit and manipulation. Every move I made, every step I took, only tightened the strands around me. I was playing a dangerous game, one that I didn't understand and couldn't win. And the worst part, I didn't know who else to trust. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, Phantom's messages stopped. Days turned into nights, and still there was no word from my digital guardian angel. The silence was deafening, amplifying my fear and uncertainty. Had they abandoned me, or had something happened to them? Then, just as suddenly as they had stopped, the messages resumed, but this time there was a difference. The tone was urgent, frantic even. "They know," the message read. "They know you're onto them, you're in more danger than you realize. Get out now, run." The message ended there, abruptly cut off, leaving me with a chilling question echoing in the silence. Run where?